do want to go to the movies with my friends. I do, you know, this, ever. And then mom's like, well, just think about the big picture.
Right.
You know, go, your lesson's an hour, just focus, go do that. Then you can go meet up with them after the movie, whatever.
Right.
And so she was kind of my voice of reason of, there's life after being 16, and you know, and so I think that was really instilled in me, and because I loved it, it wasn't too much of a struggle.
It was guidance,
Yeah,
as
exactly.
opposed to push. Mm-hmm. Do you play musical instruments?
No. It was funny, I took piano when I was younger, but my mom realized about 3 years after I started taking lessons that I wasn't reading my music. I would get my teacher to play it, and mom can actually play the piano. I would get her to play the song, and I would sound it out with my ears. So I still am like that. I mean, I can plunk things out.
Right.
But I never really learned to read music until about high school or college, so I started, you know, singing my arias and stuff like that.
Interesting. When you've worked with some, you know, phenomenal musical folks, you know, and I mean, I was reading something, I think Marvin Hamlish was just saying some very nice things about you. And
Yeah.
that must be intimidating to walk in working with people at that level. What's it like?
It is. I kind of just have to remind myself that they put their pants on one leg at a time, too. I think that's what gets me through. And, you know, when I'm sitting there singing in front of Cameron McIntosh, I'm like, I learned about you in college. Like, what am I doing in the same room, you know, having dinner with you?
Right.
And all this stuff. And it's just, it's one of those opportunities that I'm like, I can't let this pass me by. I have to do the best I can, be the best I can, be prepared. Because the best thing that can happen is if you're asked back.
Right.
There's always an opportunity to be asked, but to be asked back is the best compliment you can get. And so I just always show up as prepared. As they're the conductor, of course I have my artistic choices, but if I do what they want, I don't complain, I'm on time, I'm 15 minutes early. If they need to stay 15 minutes late, I'm just not I'm there because I love it and I want to do well. Right. And I've met some performers that I'm like, if I ever become that jaded, I'm out. It's too much work to not love it. You know, doing 8 shows a week, rehearsing all the press, all the rehearsal, the stamina, the discipline of having to go home every single night and not be able to go out all the time, or, you know, it's finding that happy balance. And it's just, I'm lucky to have that be my problem.
Because when you're doing a Broadway show, you're doing 8 shows per week?
Yes. We do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 8, and then we do Saturday 2 at 8, and then Sunday at 1 and 6:30.
Wow.
So by Sunday night, I am really tired. I look forward to the flying part of Mary Poppins because I actually get off my feet for a minute.
I can absolutely.
So it's a tough schedule.
I can imagine. Well, as you have to incorporate all these things in these shows, the singing, the dancing, you know, the acting, I would assume the singing is probably what you enjoy the most, and that's sort of what you can. How difficult was it to get the dancing and get the acting part down?
It was, you know, I worked on it really hard in college because I knew I came into college as a singer, and as hard as it is in front of your peers to work on your weaknesses, that's what I made a decision sophomore year. I'm like, you know what? It's really easy for me to get up and sing a song. Right. It's not as easy for me to get up and do a dance. It's not as easy for me to get up and do a Shakespeare monologue. But I did it. I pushed myself. I'm like, you know, this is my time to fail, because in New York, they don't care if I can sing better than I can act. If I have to go in for a monologue, that's all they care about. So that's what I really worked hard. And even though it was really hard, but every time I go back to colleges and do a talk back or something, that's the thing I stress. I'm like, work on what you're not good at, because this is the time. And because the more packaged you are, the more you can do all 3, the more hireable you'll be. But I've always just kind of enjoyed now learning the dances. Like when I first got Step in Time, I'm like, what an awesome feeling, because I never thought I'd be tapping on Broadway. Right. I thought I was a singer. You know, most leading ladies like just sit back and watch everybody else dance. Right. But meanwhile, Belle and Beauty and the Beast, you know, I danced with the napkins, you know, and Be Our Guest with little fan kicks. And, you know, in Mary Poppins, I'm being lifted and, you know, and all these ballet lifts. And I'm 5'7". I've always been a bass, you know, I'm not used to being lifted. But, you know, I had to learn to be graceful and to be merry as when I walk, when I go up the stairs, when I dance. And it was a big payoff moment for me to be able to do Step in Time and finally get it down.
What was the biggest surprise for you once you got to Broadway?
Oh, the biggest surprise, I think, is how not glamorous it is. I have to be honest. You know, I think they tell you in college how much what we do for a living is so hard, because it's so hard to get that first chance, that first opportunity. And so they're like, you know, you're waiting tables and you're doing this and you're living week to week, check to check, which is extremely hard. But when you're working, it's trying to find that happy balance of, I was 22 and going through what all 22-year-olds go about and have at that time in their life, living by yourself, feeding yourself, living on your own in New York City, much less, heading up a Broadway show. And I think, the parties and all that stuff is amazing, but they're work. I don't go to be like, yeah, let's relax. I'm going to work, to network, to meet people, and then I'm having to do 8 shows a week. And then when I went to Mary Poppins, it's a brand new Broadway show. I'm the first Mary, not the 15th Mary, which brings on the Today Show, the Tonight Show, the this, that, and which is amazing experiences. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to do the show at night and be practically perfect in every way. I mean, that's a song I sing. I can't be kind of perfect, Right. And so I think that's was the hardest part, is finding, because little things like talking on the phone. Mm-hmm. I sing 8 shows a week. I found it very hard. So when I first went into Beauty and the Beast, texting wasn't as big as it is now. I mean, I'm so thankful for texting now, because I'd be like, Mom, love you, I'm alive,
You're right.
But there'd be days where I'm like, I can't talk on the phone. And, you kind of lose track of friends and family. And it took me to about my 2nd year of Mary Poppins where I was able to find a real healthy balance, because it's just as unhealthy to just work. And it's just as unhealthy to meet with your friends all the time and be vocally tired and really tired by Sunday night. So to find that happy balance of checking in with at least one family member every couple days, and maybe meeting a friend for a quiet lunch, or it's those little things that I kind of learned along the way.
Do you find that after you do a show, or after you've been doing a show for a week or so, have you just given so much that it's almost a struggle to communicate with your friends or family?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. I mean, I just am consumed in that world. Mm-hmm. And everything I eat, the way I feel when I wake up in the morning, is all determined for what I have to do at 8 o'clock that night. If I wake up and feel a tickle, the day is very stressful. Mm-hmm. If I, have a lot going on, if I have another audition or if I have an interview, it's like leading up, can I have spicy this afternoon? I'm feeling a little acid reflux. It's like I'm in a corset every single night. It's those little things that most people don't have to worry about, that everything I eat, speak, say, do the night before, whatever, makes it a hard decision for me. I have to think about it,
Take me through a day. Let's just say you're doing Mary Poppins on Broadway. Mm-hmm. So you wake up in the morning. Take me through your day.
I wake up really late because I don't get to bed. By the time I wind down from the show, I didn't get home to about 11:30. I'd probably go to bed about 1:32. I'd wake up, if I was able to not have anything to wake up for, which was always a blessing, I probably would wake up about 11:30, 12. And I would wake up, take my dog Eddie on a walk in Central Park. And that was my time to leave my BlackBerry at home to just have my Ashley time before, it all started. And then I would kind of, hum a little bit throughout the day. I would try to go to the gym. But, I would try to eat, because I couldn't eat after 6 because, I fly. I'm in a corset, have the audience in mind, And so it's a very boring day, because everything leads up to that.
Right.
So, and then Saturday and Sunday, I do it twice.
Right.
So those mornings, I wake up at, 10:30, then I'm at the theater at noon, then I'm done with the matinee at 5, then I have to be back at 7, and blah, 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 blah. It's just an ongoing. It just never stops.
So what time would you get to the theater?
An hour before. When I first started, I got there about 2 hours before.
Okay.
Because it just took us a little while to figure out my makeup and my wig, because they used some of my real hair in my Mary Poppins wig, and so it was a piece of artwork by the time it was done. Mary's little wave in her bun. So,
do you have aspirations to do movies or television, or do you want to stay the Broadway channel, or both?
I do both. I could never imagine leaving music behind, because I think it is my true passion. But I'm definitely open just to see how LA is. I'm in LA taking classes and been auditioning a lot, and being in front of the camera is just such a new thing for me, but I've really enjoyed it, and it's just been a really nice break, and totally opposite of Mary Poppins.
How different is being on Broadway than being in front of a television camera or a movie camera?
It's different. You don't get that audience feedback. You don't get the love, It's the applause and the laughter and when you got it. I feel like in TV and film, if you land a joke, you're like, was it funny? No one's laughing, but nobody's there.
Right.
So it's that kind of stuff that's, you have to get used to.
Right.
And also, it's just communicating. You have to communicate smaller on TV and film, but at the same time, you have to be able to read it. I feel like on Broadway, you get your whole body, you get your whole, product to let you tell the story.
Which one's more difficult?
I think for me, because it's so foreign to me, is TV and film, because it's new. You know, it's new to me. It's a new thing that I have just begun. And because Broadway, now I've had so much experience, and that's what I went to college to do.
Right.
But it's really nice for me to have this new challenge and just see what it's all about. But I mean, Broadway's my love, and I'm really hoping that once I have some Ashley time, which I'm taking right now, to move back to New York and take it on again.
Good deal. Is that what you always dreamed of as a small girl growing up, is Broadway?
Yes, definitely.
More Broadway than Hollywood.
Yeah, more Broadway, and being a recording artist would be a dream come true as well. And it's funny because my dream came true so early that I've been so lucky to be able to come up with new dreams. And because when I first stepped on that stage as Belle in Beauty and the Beast, I was like, I can't believe it. I just can't believe I'm here. And it's only, what did I do? You know, what do I have? What do I do? Why'd you pick me? You know?
Right.
And so after I got married, and then after when I was in Belle, I was like, now I want to, you know, now I have a new dream and I want to create a role on Broadway. Then that happened. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I just had to kind of think, what do I want next? 'Cause I was thinking this wouldn't happen I didn't know when.
Right.
And so I feel really fortunate to be able to have new dreams.
Talking about music, and you have the new album out, and I want you to tell everybody in just a moment how they can go about getting a copy of it. But do you write? I'm just curious. Do you write songs?
I haven't, but I want to, because I have a couple friends who we kind of, you know, mess around with music sometimes. And so I want to get into it. I think it's just kind of finding those people who have that same type of feeling that you do and kind of get you to emote those things, because it seems kind of daunting to me because of all the great music I've been able to sing. Everything's so witty and smart, and I just wonder if I have that, but I'm definitely looking into maybe starting to do some.
Where will we see Ashley Brown 10 years from now?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Hopefully being in a new Broadway show with 5 records out of all different kinds, and just being as happy as I am right now. And and I know I'll still be me and still have my family and friends and the support of my hometown, Pensacola and Gulf Breeze. And so I think hopefully just more of the same and better, bigger and better, hopefully.
How can someone get a copy of your new CD? It's called Speak Low, Ashley Brown.
You can go to, it's at Borders around the country, and also on Amazon.com, or you can go to AshleyBrownOnline.com. Okay. And you can find out all my concert dates, where I'll be with all my record, and also where you can buy it.
Ashley Brown, you have a great deal of passion. That's why you're so successful.
Thank you.
Not to mention you're loaded with talent. Thank you so very much for joining us. Ashley Brown, what an impressive performer she is. She's, as I said in the opening of the show, impressed the critics and certainly wowed the fans on Broadway. And we greatly appreciate her spending some time with us on this edition of Conversations. I'm Jeff Weeks. Take good care of yourself, and we will see you soon, and we'll also see you on Facebook and online.